He was never sold with King Kenny. I always thought there was a weakness in his game. You know, he's one of those fighters that likes to keep it...
Digging on him, Slim, you could tell, was already gassed out. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, Slim throws that right hand, rocks him, and then throws it again, double right hand, and drops it. Oh, man, we were going crazy.
I picked Logan Paul to win. It's Dillon Danis, the biggest internet troll on the internet. He's not even a fighter anymore. Donkey of the day. I don't know why Conor McGregor said that Dillon Danis was a legend, or he congratulated him on a good performance.
Said he impressed him.
He impressed him.
You know, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of impressed too.
On what?
His ability to take punches. You know, his ability to just like eat those punches and not get angry. You know, that takes a lot of self-control actually.
KSI is kind of a crybaby.
Yeah, I think he actually threw a temper tantrum.
He deadass threw a temper tantrum,
like a children, like a child, an infant.
How old is he? 29, 30?
He's 33 or...
He's 30.
30, okay.
30?
He kicked, like, the monitor. Like...
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Last Round Boxing Podcast. You got me, Rudo.
Pablo.
Also, Al.
And this is the Last Round Boxing Podcast. We had an interesting weekend of fights, no? I think it's kind of divided, honestly, from what I've seen on Twitter. You got the old heads saying that this was a disgrace to the sport. And you got, on the other side, a lot of people who actually seem to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? We're obviously talking about the Prime card. Very interesting. Let's just start with the King Kenny versus Anthony Taylor fight. What are you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, speaking to little what you said, I think it was a bit anticlimactic, man. I think it was obviously hyped for a very long time. You know, the biggest crossover influencer event in the history, and I don't know if it delivered. You know, I don't know if it delivered, especially those two main events, which obviously, specifically Logan and Dillon, which was the hype was coming out. But both fights, you know, both main events were really hyped up. And a lot of people expected a lot of these fights. And I can't say that they lived up to the hype, man. Really can't. But yeah, let's start down the list like you said with Anthony Taylor and King Kenny. I called it, man. I called it. I was never sold with King Kenny. You know, he never sold me. I know he was coming into this fight with Anthony Taylor with a lot of hype behind his name. But just for me personally, and from his previous fights, I always thought there was a weakness in his game. You know, he's one of those fighters that likes to keep it professional, or likes to keep it like he likes to look pretty in there. You know, he likes to keep the jab. You know, fight regularly, fundamentals. But one of his weaknesses is when you pressure him and you make it a bit rough, like a dogfight, he doesn't really know what to do. He kind of freezes up, and I think this fight definitely showed that to the whole world, man. Because he got completely 4-0. What was it, 5-0?
Yeah,
5-0. Every single round he lost.
He got sweeped.
Yeah. You know, against Anthony Taylor.
Well, I mean, also you could also make the argument that, I mean, overall, it just was probably one of the worst fights, if not the worst fight of the entire card, because, I mean, you know, with Anthony Taylor, you already know what you're going to get with him. You know, shown in his previous fights. He literally just going to go in there and just try to dog it or just make it as sloppy as he can. And he doesn't really care how he wins as long as he wins. So we knew there was going to be a lot of, you know, clinches, a lot of holds based on his previous fights. So this was all supposed to be King Kenny's plan to find ways to neutralize this effect. But from the first bell, Anthony Taylor just went running right at him. Literally. He sprinted at him. Yeah. And then that was the first clinch. It took 5 seconds for the first clinch of the fight to commence. But yeah, overall, yeah, like you said, King Kenny had a lot of hype. So much hype. People were expecting him to knock out Anthony Taylor, you know? The thing is, if Anthony Taylor couldn't get knocked out by Tommy Fury, by Salt Papi, by even what's his name, Chris Avila, I think it is his name. One of the other, yeah, Chris Avila, something like that. If you couldn't get knocked out by those guys, do you really expect King Kenny to knock him out? Like, come on, let's be honest. No, there's no way. And I don't know, you know, because King Kenny was coming off knocking out my mate Nate, and then just humiliating Nunes, so like people were just on him, and he looked good, obviously, but Yeah, this past weekend we saw what King Kenny what happens when you put him up against a style that just resorts to high pressure and just making things dirty. He just doesn't know how to react to it.
Yeah, people were giving him so much credit for his last victory against Whindersson Nunes, and credit where credit's due. He did his job. He swept. He's the one that swept that time. Completely dominating Whindersson Nunes, dropping him, and just embarrassing him, like you said. But yeah, they just gave him way too much credit. They thought he was like some god or something. They thought he was Mayweather. Everyone was saying he's like the next best influencer. He's evolved into what people thought he was gonna be. All this stuff, and I was like, guys, like let's calm down a bit. Like I think we're forgetting his past. Aside the Whindersson Nunes fight and the My Mate Nate fight, he had a lot of ups and downs in his career, man. Like he was, sometimes he'd perform, other times he wouldn't perform. Sometimes he'd perform, other times he wouldn't perform. And a lot of that came to the style in which his opponents brought to the table and brought into the ring. And just like he fought Raksu or
Ashley
Raku,
Raku, something like that. Raksu.
And in that fight where King Kenny lost, it was another one of those styles where coming forward, pushing King Kenny back on the back foot on the ropes and throwing a lot of punches, and King Kenny struggled with that. So coming into this fight, knowing what Anthony Taylor was going to bring, because it doesn't take a genius to find out what he's going to do. He's going to go in there, make it dirty, make it a dogfight, exactly what he did. I'm sure he's happy with his performance.
Yeah.
The world might not be. Everyone's saying it was a boring fight, but hey, I'm sure he's happy. He got the check, he got the win, and he got some respect. So.
Yeah, he's going to continue to fight another Misfits card, another Happy Punch card.
Champion.
Yeah, he's going to keep on.
Or he might even fight for the belt now, right?
You already won the belt.
He already won the belt. Oh yeah. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. So like now he's a champion. Now he gets to call the shots. Now possibly his next fight is going to be another big payday. But one thing that I want to touch back on what you said is that I think it's really the perception. I don't know if it was just like fans of King Kenny or it was just people who didn't really know too much about boxing and stuff like that. I think the perception of him, the way he won his last two fights against My Mate Nate, but especially against Whindersson Nunes, I really think they thought that King Kenny was going to be like a new, improved version and stuff like that. And no, not at all. Like I really was kind of surprised just by the amount of people that when I would scroll through some of these posts on the Misfits or even Happy Punch, how people were like writing for King Kenny to win. I was like, no, there must be some mistake. I can't believe people are actually buying into this like hype job. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, Anthony Taylor is not a pretty fighter. He never was, and he never is going to be. But that's a really hard opponent to beat. Some guy who will do whatever it takes to neutralize you, your attacking and style, and then it's just him, like just making it ugly with the clinches and stuff like that. Especially, you also got to take into consideration like who his previous opponents have been. They've been against guys who have had experience, whether more boxing or and stuff like that. And he's came out not looking good, but like looking decent. You know what I'm saying? Against better level opposition than King Kenny.
He knows what to do in the ring.
Yeah,
he's experienced, man, and he was a MMA guy. He's just been in the fight game a long time, and he knows especially how to deal with these lower level guys that are barely getting into boxing. Like King Kenny, all the Salt Papi, all these guys are relatively new to boxing, and they don't really understand fighting that much. They're probably sparring, and they're trying to look pretty. All this cool stuff. That's good. Getting a grasp on the fundamentals is a great thing. Obviously, I'm not downplaying that. What I'm saying is that sometimes these guys try to look so pretty and so try to be perfect when you don't really have to be. Like Anthony Taylor, it wasn't pretty or perfect at all. But guess what? He came out of the fight with a 5-0 victory. So, what does that say? As well with King Kenny, this thing, yeah, like his last fight, he embarrassed Whindersson Nunes. But Whindersson Nunes lost against My Mate Nate this past weekend.
It's kind of funny.
So it's like, everyone, I don't know why they thought, there was a lot of hype with Whindersson Nunes as well. And then King Kenny beating him brought even more hype to King Kenny. But I think
it kind of shifted over to him.
Yeah, I think the hype is dying down definitely for both fighters, but especially for Whindersson after another sadly performance. this past weekend, and King Kenny now, I'm sure another down in his career, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's next for him, because he kind of does this all the time where, he gets fans. They're writing for him. Oh, this is the time that King Kenny's gonna be serious and a real fighter, and then he loses, and then he comes back, and then he loses again. So I don't know. His career is kind of like a roller coaster. So I don't know what's the next stop.
He could fight Ed Matthews.
Ed Matthews, after his stunning performance over Swarms.
One Punch Man. One Punch Man, the One Punch Man.
Yeah.
That's insane. No, but yeah, so, I don't know, yeah, what's his name? King Kenny and his team really just gotta go back. Gotta check what's going, just go back to drawing board. Focus on that. Keep working in the gym, and, just look for the next opportunity, because there will be an opportunity. King Kenny's a big name. There's a lot of people who want to fight him. I'm sure he wants to keep on fighting. But yeah, he's really gotta decide, or he's gotta find ways to improve his game. He just can't be losing against these types of fighters. The same types of fighters that he's been losing to have been the same style. Just an aggressive forward type fighter. So him and his team have really gotta figure out a game plan to try to work on that. But that's on that, I think in our last podcast, we all predicted Anthony Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, before we go on to the next one, I kind of want to go over, we got the Panetta one wrong, the Pina Coladas and the Nick Lamau.
Ended in a draw.
We had,
somehow.
Yeah, we had the Nunes winning, too, for the next one. Yeah. We got that wrong. The King Kenny, we got that right. Yeah, so right now, we're 1-2. I believe we're 1-2. Yeah, 1-2. And now we're about to be 1-3. Because now, next up is the Deen the Great versus Walid Sharks. Now, this one was it was a great fight. I think it was a fight of the night, in my opinion. It was a great fight, but it was definitely not the fight that we were all expecting it to be. We were expecting Walid to come in there and get his get back. That's what we were all expecting. That's what we predicted. I had been predicting this for a couple months now. That Walid was gonna get, was gonna actually KO Deen, but what happened this past weekend was something unforetold, and I was genuinely surprised. I give major props to Deen for this. Walid, you disappointed me, bro.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. This fight did not go how I expected it to go on both sides. Firstly, for Deen, let's start with Deen. I think that I expected him to be like kind of running more or try to box him a bit more. But he didn't really. I mean, I guess he kind of did that. His counters were phenomenal. His right hand counter was completely destroying Walid. Walid had no response for that right hand, man, landing every single time. So that was, fair play to Deen. He came in with the same game plan he always comes in with, but it works. So if it works, don't change it. So came in right hand, strong right hand, and for Walid, I just think he didn't learn from his last fight, which is kind of crazy to me. Because it's such a clear weakness that Deen the Great has. Just his one dimensional. He has a right hand, and that's about it. He's fast, and the right hand, and he got power, and that's a deadly combo. But it's only one dimensional. He only has that right hand. He doesn't really throw that many jabs. Not that many hooks, not that much to the body. It's just solely that right hand. And what I expected Walid to do and his team to do is go into camp and see what they did wrong and see clearly that Deen's best shot is his right hand, which is what you got knocked out with, and formulate a game plan around it. Some way try to neutralize it and get your shots off. But Walid did not do that at all. He marched forward, and I don't know what he was trying to do. Just bully Deen, I suppose. But it just didn't go that way. He seemed slow. After he got hurt, he couldn't recover either. It was not that good for Walid. Not a good night. He went out pretty sad. Deen the Great, I give him credit because he did what he had to do. He got his not, I was gonna say revenge, but he won the first fight. So
he made a statement, really.
Yeah, he just said, I'm just better than Walid, and I guess he is.
Yeah, Deen really showed why he's the great. You know what I'm saying? Deen and his team really went back to the drawing board and really really formulated a really good game plan. Really, the counters. Like you said before, I really thought he was gonna be more on the back foot, trying to box more, not really looking for the exchanges. But no, he was actually really looking forward for the exchanges, really looking forward for the opportunities to counter with the right hand. And Walid, I'm not even sure why he didn't even. I think Walid was a little bit of hard headed. You know what I'm saying? He really thought that he was just gonna manhandle and bully, go in there and just be able to do whatever he wants to do against Deen, and that was really not the case. That was really obviously the wrong game plan. Especially like if you already fought someone, I think instinctively you have to understand that like your opponent's gonna want to do something else. He's gonna come up with a new game plan. He's gonna try to come in with the new tactics and stuff like that. And no, Wally did the exact same thing that he did the first fight. And Deen, it was so easy for Deen to actually really take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing new, same old Wally that we're accustomed to seeing. It wasn't even improved Wally. Like, oh, he still has the aggression. He still has that right hand, the power. But now he's got a jab, or now he's got, he moves a little bit more quicker on his feet, or he has a little bit more better head movement, more feints. No, it was the same come forward Walid. And it kind of sucks because I really thought when he came out, his Michael Myers suit, I really thought, I was like, oh, dang. Like, this Walid is going to
go serious.
He's serious. He's going to murder Deen. And even the shoes, I'm not sure if you saw, it was the Everlast shoes, but he also had like a little bit of the... I don't know if it was like a knife, but there was like blood. It was like custom made. It was kind of cool. And no, it turned out to be a nightmare for him, really. Especially after that, I don't know if it was the right hand from overhand right or if it was an uppercut. The first one that kind of dropped him.
It was right hand.
Right hand. Like, yeah, he couldn't really recover after that. And there was moments in time where I really thought the referee was going to come in and stop the fight.
Yeah, it was very close on several occasions, man. And, that right hand landing every single time. It was crazy. So, Walid, he was talking a lot of stuff, saying he was going to get his get back, but he couldn't get it this time. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, I think there was two things that kind of surprised me during the fight. One was the speed difference, between the two. It wasn't as noticeable in the first fight, but in this rematch, we could clearly tell who was the faster fighter. And Deen was just lightning fast, with quick counters, just quick everything. Even his jabs to the body that he'd sometimes do on Walid, it was so quick. Walid couldn't react. He was so slow, flat-footed. And yeah, it was kind of crazy to see the difference in speed, from the first fight to the second one. Now the second thing is, I believe Walid came in thinking, he can't hurt me. That first shot that he got me with in the first fight. Lucky, it was my own fault, I got too cocky and he just landed a lucky punch, which is why I believe he came into the fight thinking, he's not gonna be able to hurt me. Even if he lands that right, I already know it's coming, I can take it, yada yada yada. And I think that may have been his demise, because that right hand, like you said, landed so many times throughout that fight. That right hand hurt him. That right hand dropped him. I'm surprised he even was able to keep on standing up, I'm surprised especially that one knockdown in the, not the knockdown, one of the right hand shots that Deen landed on him that made Walid's mouth guard just fly all over the place. That one was a hard right hand that he delivered on. It was a counter right clean out of the whistle, landed clean. Walid took it. I'm surprised he even kept on standing. The only thing is also, Deen needs to work on his finishing. Needs to really work on that, because he had Walid out on his feet in multiple occasions throughout that fight, and he couldn't get him out of there. He could not get him out of there. And the thing is, it wasn't too hard to get him out. Walid was standing right in front of you. At that point, just throw your hands. You could just throw volumes of punches. They don't even have to be loaded up with any power, because the referee's just gonna see it and he's just gonna wave it off. TKO right there. But yeah, besides that, I think it was a good fight for Deen. Really showed everything.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you're right. He was completely hurting. He hurt Walid almost every single round, multiple times. It was very bad for Walid. You got to give him some credit, man. That boy got a chin on him. He went down
in a big heart too.
In a big heart. He went out down twice, I believe. But he was rocked to the core several times. Like, I'm surprised his legs were were staying under him though. But yeah, Deen for some reason was just not able to get him out, and he definitely had a lot of opportunities to do that. I think his strength, another one of his strengths is his countering. I don't think he's not that great when it comes to actually going forward and initiating the punches. He was missing a lot of punches when he was trying to finish, and like you said, Walid was standing right in front of him. There was no head movement, there was no footwork, no waist movement, it wasn't even really holding up his hands. He was just taking those punches, but somehow Deen wasn't able to be that accurate and get Walid out of there. So yeah, Deen definitely has some stuff to work on, but very impressive performance. Definitely statement made. I think he put an end to this rivalry. I'm not sure if Walid is gonna, ask for a trilogy, and I don't think the people are even gonna ask for a trilogy either.
Yeah, I mean, Wally definitely has to go back to the drawing board and has to kind of redeem himself, to get back in that same position that he was at. Meaning he has to take the long road. He has to fight other people, other influencers, other boxers, and then kind of like make his way up there to the top and actually fight Deen again. But another thing that he has to learn his mistakes. You know what I'm saying? He can't be going in there hard headed thinking he's the man.
Yeah, I think he needs to come up with like a game plan. Like I don't know why they didn't come up with some sort of game plan or like a plan of attack. They just like threw him in there and were like, all right, just beat him, with no real intention of how to beat him. Because Deen is he's one-dimensional, but like he's a fast guy. Like he's fast, he's quick. He has some nice like his defense is on point. Is on point, yeah. Like his what's the word? Instincts or like his reactions.
His reaction.
Yeah, like his reactions are nice. He's able to like see, especially with Walid being super slow. Walid was rarely able to land a lot of punches, which is kind of crazy though, because the fight literally started out with Walid throwing a 1-2-3, and that hook landed clean right on Deen's mouth and rocked him. The first combination. And when I saw that, I was jumping up and down. I was like, yes, Walid's going to finish this guy.
Nope. I think we all did.
Yeah, we all did. And nope, it didn't end up like that. I think Walid kind of I think that's what he expected. Him just like throw punches, and then it was just going to land on Deen, and Deen was just going to get knocked out. No, Deen came in very, very strong. Came in well-conditioned and knowing exactly what to do, and he performed completely well.
I mean, I wouldn't be going back to the if we would want to see a trilogy. Yeah, he was getting his butt beat, but then at the end, in the fifth round, he kind of
rocked him.
He rocked him. He hurt Deen, and Deen was kind of not running away, but he's definitely more on the back foot defense. Oh God, I just got hurt by a shot from a guy who I hurt multiple times on multiple occasions. So that kind of shows you, the heart and the determination, the grit that Walid has. But yeah, other than Deen not being able to finish a hurt fighter that's really just standing in front of him, Deen had a good performance, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know when we're gonna see him because he got another injury on his shoulder.
Same shoulder injury, also a hand injury.
Okay, yeah, so he got a busted up shoulder, busted up hand. Might be a while to see him come back. He's a champion. He retained it. He retained it. He was already the champion.
Who do we want to see Deen fight?
Well, we got A Luddy or A Yuddy.
Yuddy Gang.
Yuddy Gang.
Adam Sala, man.
We got Adam Sala.
I think they want to put him up against what's his name? What's that?
The pizza guy?
No, not the pizza guy. The Jose Aldo, the UFC fighter, or
Jose Aldo.
Not Jose Aldo. Who am I saying? Oh my God, what's his name?
The UFC fighter?
Yeah, he's retired. He's retired. He's a Brazilian dude.
It could be Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo retired, and he's Brazilian.
But is he like in the 130s?
145.
Cause they were trying to make a fight between them or something.
Really?
Or there was little rumors, and then Deen kind of sparked it. It was a while back, but people are saying, to make that a fight like around that, get him up against a retired UFC fighder, because that's just the way the influencers go, right?
Yeah, that is. That's Jake Paul's blueprint right there.
The blueprint for a success, I guess. So I don't know. He's got a lot of options. I'm pretty sure he wants a big payday though. like against a big name. You know, this it doesn't matter. Like he wants like a UFC fighter or something like that. You know, that's why he was calling out Tank. He was calling out Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia, yeah. I was like, all right,
Yeah,
relax.
He's calling out people, but I'm sure he wants a big payday. But I mean, there's a lot of other influencers who want a shot at that title, you know, and that's why they also made that. They made the whole the rankings for every single division, and also I think they're gonna try to throw out mandatories and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they decide to do though with that. But as of right now, I mean, if I was Dean, I'd just be chilling.
Yeah,
I'd be chilling for like a good week or so, you know, just relaxing, enjoying the fruits of my labor.
Yeah, waiting for that check to hit his balance.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. All right. Moving on though. Next up, we have the people's main event: Salt Papi versus Slim. Now this one, my boy, the Hitman. I've been with this dude, man. I believed in him, and you know what happened? He delivered. I am so happy. I was delighted. I was going crazy. You can see our reaction on our TikTok page.
Make sure to check that out.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, we were so happy, or I was happy. Roberto was happy. I don't think he was happy. Really happy. What was our thoughts about that fight?
Yeah, man. I think dude, it was so hard to watch, man. Salt Papi was winning the fight, man. It seemed from the opening bell, Salt Papi was just exuding confidence, man. He had this aura around him, and he always kind of does. He's a very confident guy. You know, he puts a lot of work, so I'm sure he has high self-esteem, man. He's like, yeah, I put in all this hard work. It's going to pay off. And so, yeah, he came in there with an aura, you know, looking sharp, looking ready, and looking like he was managing the distance very well. On the other hand, Slim came out a bit tense. Came out a bit nervous, a bit stiff. It seemed he wasn't really that comfortable in the opening 2 rounds. Seemed a bit slow. He's always been a bit slow, but it was a bit extra, I felt like. And so those first 2 rounds, you know, Salt Papi was not dominating. It wasn't a clear victory towards Salt Papi. A lot of clinches, which is in this card. It had a lot of ugly fights, which I wasn't really expecting. We'll come back to that later, but yeah, it was a lot of clinch fest. No real clean shots landed until the 3rd round, the 4th round, where Slim just comes out banging, man. I guess his trainer Andre Rozier was he told him, hey, after the first round, in the first 2 rounds, I think he was saying, he's like, yeah, you gotta go for this guy, man.
He actually told him, I believe, after the end of the first round, he said, you lost this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Andre Rozier is like, yeah, you got to go. And I think that sparked something in Slim. Was like, yeah, I do got to go. I mean, he probably felt it too. Like, this fight was kind of slipping out of his hands. It was a close, dirty fight, but, like, sloppy. But it was, you could tell Salt Papi was mainly landing more punches. He seemed more the aggressor, and he just seemed more confident as well. So I was giving the rounds to him. But the mistake that he was making was, I think he got a bit tired and then just kind of like started standing in front of Slim. And that gives Slim the opportunity to land his right hand. And we all know that this guy has power in those skinny ass arms. Don't tell me how, but he's called the Hitman for a reason, man. So he came out in that 4th round swinging, hurt him immediately, the first punch he landed, and it went downhill from there. You know, Salt Papi was trying to act like the tough guy, be like, oh, was shaking his head, like nothing's going on.
And he got clipped.
And then he was like, oh shit, maybe I am hurt. And yeah, it just went downhill from there. Slim started landing cleanly. He got his confidence back. I think that was the most important thing. Got his confidence back, was like, okay, believed in his power again. Started swinging and knocked him down and then stopped him. It was a good stoppage. He was just gonna keep on wailing on him. And yeah, it was sad for me, man. I was hoping Salt Papi to win.
On the other side of the coin, I truly enjoyed this fight. You know, I was writing for my man Slim Jimmy. Yeah, he definitely, you know, I wouldn't say I was worried, but I was definitely concerned after those, especially those first 2 rounds. Like, he looked very stiff and very slow, sluggish. Kind of didn't really know what to do. He seemed very uncomfortable in there, and although I wasn't too worried in that moment, because Salt Papi, as like what you said, he wasn't really doing a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely controlling the range, the distance, which is kind of weird because the height difference should have been the other way around. Slim should have been able to establish that distance,
Height and reach distance.
height and reach distance like really easily. But no, Salt Papi, and I think it was because of the southpaw stance. I think that could have also had some type of effect. But yeah, Slim, he just looked really stiff those 2 rounds, and he lost it, but he didn't lose it like he was getting his ass butt whooped. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he just looked very uncomfortable, stiff. Was kind of hesitant to throw, just because Salt Papi does have power as well, just like him. He has the ability to get knocked out and stuff like that. So I think he was kind of trying to figure out when he was going to be able to almost settle into the rhythm of the fight and stuff like that. And I think props to his trainer, who is he's actually a professional boxing trainer. He's
world renowned,
world class trainer, Andre Rozier. And Andre Rozier, I think that's the best thing you can do to a fighter. Be honest with him, almost. After the first round, he said, you lost this round, right? And Slim was like, he kind of like understood, like, yeah, I lost that round. And it wasn't until at the end of the third round he kind of, that's what he said, he kind of woke him up a little bit. He said, hey, bro, you got to get after it, bro, because this fight's slipping away. You know what I'm saying? And I think in that moment he was just kind of like, Slim was kind of like, F it, I'm just going to go out there and just see what happens. And the first 2 punches that he threw was a 1-2, and that right hand clipped Salt Papi. He took it well. He wasn't, stumbling or anything like that, but it was definitely the first solid punch that Slim actually landed. And then after that, I think he kind of regained the old, like, Slim, you know what I'm saying, his confidence again. And then, yeah, that was it, really. Salt Papi didn't really do anything different. And, I mean, I don't blame him, too, 'cause what he was doing was working. It was just that Slim came out with the fire in his chest and his soul. And yeah, he just got Salt Papi with the counter right hand, and after that it was basically over, really.
I think he did change. I think Salt Papi, he was fighting at like range and like kind of, he'd step into range, not lunging, but like with the jab, and then try to throw something, and they kind of clash together. But like later on, it felt like Salt Papi was kind of started to turn more flat-footed, and like was trying to like just stay in the pocket and just like bang with Slim. He wasn't trying to like maintain his distance. I think in the first couple he was trying to. After he got hurt, it was like he just wanted to stay in the pocket. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're giving Slim opportunities to win. Like, you are controlling this fight. Stay on like your range. Don't try to exchange with this monster, man. And he started doing that. I don't know why. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he felt I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, and then he just got clipped and it was over.
Yeah, I remember when he cause that fourth round started with a bang. Slim was just all over him at that point, and then midway through the round, Salt Papi started changing it a little bit, and it started going back to Salt Papi, digging on him. Slim, you could tell, was already gassed out, and then out of nowhere, Slim throws that right hand.
Fucking rocks him.
And then throws it again, double right hand, and drops him. Oh, man, we were going crazy. Voila, we were like, it's finished, it's over, It's gotta be. And then shortly after, that's when the referee decided to stop it. Good stoppage, in my opinion. Yes, a slip. Because when Salt Papi stood up and, the fight resumed, Slim just threw 2 jabs at his face and connected both of them with no reaction, no response from Salt Papi whatsoever. And when I saw that live this past weekend, I was like, oh, it's gonna be over. Slim just gotta land one big shot. Even if he doesn't drop him, they're gonna either throw in the towel or they're gonna stop it. And like what I said shortly after, referee was like, nah, it's over. GG, good effort, Salt Papi, but never sleep on my boy Slim like that. And the thing that makes this win so just more enjoyable was the amount of disrespect that Slim was getting, Everyone was all like, oh, Salt Papi's gonna destroy this man, Slim, he just been fighting bums. He couldn't knock out Tom Zanetti, who was just making his debut.
He was a road man.
He couldn't beat he couldn't knock out Ryan Taylor. He went through hell to fight those fighters, He went the whole entire fight. And so they were really underestimating my boy Slim. And even if you were to say, like, the weeks building up to this fight, that Slim was going to win, people would have eaten you up. You know, they would have been like, "You're dumb. You know, you don't know boxing. You know
Yeah.
this and that." But what happened, huh? What happened? Everyone was saying Slim was ducking Salt Papi. Fine, whatever. Let's fight on the prime card. They fought, and what happened, man? Never
Yeah.
sleep on my boy. Never. He always has the puncher's chance. You know.
He does, man. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how he gets that power, man. It's kind of crazy to me. He packs a punch, you know. And yeah, Salt Papi is. I mean, his chin. It's kind of hard to tell because like Slim does hit hard, you know. So it's not like he's like we can't say he has no chin because he got stopped. It's like Slim can do that to just about anybody. He packs a punch in that right hand. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you think the weight cut could have had any reason behind that?
I don't believe so. And the reason why is because I saw some people saying that the reason why I don't think it had any effect is because Salt Papi, his weight loss wasn't a very drastic thing. Every single one of Salt Papi's fights, he comes in lower and lower and lower and lower gradually. It's not like his last fight, he was a super heavy and then he had to drop a crazy amount of weight. No, it's not like that. It's like over the span of I don't know how long he's been boxing, a year or something like that. He's gradually dropped weight steadily. So I think it's helps his body adapt. You know, because that is true. Sometimes like heavy weight cuts and dehydration can lead to a weaker chin, just feeling weaker overall. You know, just not being your 100%. But I don't think that was the case. I think it was just. I think firstly he got a little too cocky and started trying to be like the tough guy. I don't know why. And secondly, I don't think he knows exactly what to do when he's hurt. He kind of put his hands up, but like his defense, there was like a lot of holes. You know, like Slim would just throw a straight jab, like you said, and it would rock his Salt Papi's head back. It's like he wasn't holding, he wasn't trying to run, he wasn't like flexing his waist, head movement. He wasn't really doing anything. He was just kind of standing there like this and then just getting teed off on. And that's a big no-no, obviously. That's why he got TKO'd. He was just standing there on the ropes getting wailed on by Slim. So, yeah, I don't think a weight cut was the reason why he got knocked out. I think it was just Slim packs a punch and Salt Papi made wrong adjustments.
Yeah, I mean, his last fight, it was early this year. No, it was Taylor. Yeah. He didn't look that skinny. He was still in that phase of like, you know, I'm still losing weight. I think it's possible that maybe, you know, this time like he did lose a little bit more weight than what he was in his previous other fights. Like I guess what was that dude? Chase Beckinger? Josh. Buccaneer, something like that. Yeah, I think it's possible. I'm not gonna say the weight cut, you know, had something to do with it, but I think if he wasn't able to recover, maybe afterwards, like, you know, making the weight and then not having enough liquids or not eating enough, maybe that could have also played some factor because he didn't look sharp as his other previous fights.
He looked pretty sharp.
Think so?
The first 2 rounds, yeah.
The first 2 rounds.
He looked sharp. No, he looked sharp. I mean, even in the it's just when I say the first 2 rounds, it's because later he kind of just started getting more, like he wanted to exchange.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like he just wanted to exchange. He wanted to be like inside. I don't know why. It's the wrong game plan for you. Like you're fighting a perfect fight or not a perfect fight, but you're at least you're winning.
Yeah.
At range. Like why are you changing it up? You're giving him a chance because he started landing some punches. So, but no, I believe he looked sharp. I mean, his aura was nice. He exuded confidence. You know, Slim was definitely a bit cautious of him. You know, he was cautious of his counters, cautious of like just crossing the distance quickly. So I think Salt Papi came in ready. I mean, he puts in work. I just think it was just the wrong game plan.
Yeah. Like what we were saying about Slim looked a bit cautious. He did. He looked. I think that's what allowed him to gas out so early. He was way too nervous, too tense. Yeah, because. You could tell from the very first round how he was reacting to everything. It was really a very tenseful opening round for him. Even the second and the third one, he was just really like he didn't know what to do. And I think that's what gassed him out. Because after the second round, going to the third, he looked already gassed. There's one point where it looked like he was ready to put his hands like on his knees, because he was exhausted. He was gassing out.
Yeah,
and
catch a breather.
Yeah, and when I was seeing that, I started getting more worried. I was like, oh man, if Salt Papi lands rips one body shot, oh man,
over.
it might be a little an early night for Slim, but. Nah, it's cool, I think it's cool that Slim finally is getting more recognition, right? Because, yeah, he beat FaZe Temper when as a 2-week replacement, and, he got the upset victory. And people were giving them props, right? But ever since that moment, he fought Ryan Taylor, and then he fought Zanetti. People have been just disregarded him, as, he's just a bum who just has power, He can't even drop these guys, who are barely making their debut. Blah 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 blah, right? So now finally he beat one of the biggest stars and one of the biggest names and influencers, the guy that they were saying he was ducking, the next mega star, the Manny Pacquiao reincarnated, this and that. So he finally got that win. I think that was his signature win. Yeah, easily signature win so far.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's gonna get a lot more respect and credit after that performance.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see what happens next. We have Jarvis calling out for him, which I think that was disrespectful.
Yeah, he got in the ring. I was like, sit down, buddy. You just came off a loss.
Yeah, disrespectful, man. I think the next fight that Slim would be the Nissan Gibb.
Yeah.
Slim versus Gibb. That one's been marinating for so long, longer than Salt Papi. Been marinating, and very interesting to see because. Gabe hasn't fought since the Jarvis, where he put up a good performance, dogged him. So I'm very interested to see that type of that fight come into fruition. Hopefully, it happens soon. It probably won't happen until maybe sometime next year. But I'm very eager to see what Slim decides to do, or what steps he decides to take for his career. Moving on, though, now we get to the
main events.
To the main events, yeah, the ones that people spent $80 on pay-per-view for,
We did.
Shut up. We have the first one. We got Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis. What were your guys' thoughts on this fight?
Man.
Well, right now, what was the tally so far of our predictions?
Well, I remember I lost the Pineda one. I lost the Nunes. I won the Taylor. And then
Slim.
I won the Slim and I lost the Deen. So I'm 2-3 right now. Yeah.
I'm 2-3.
I'm 2-3.
You're 2-3 as well. I
2-3
think
as well.
4 because I picked Salt Papi.
I picked Logan Paul to win. I did pick Logan Paul to win because I just knew bro, it's Dillon Danis, the biggest internet troll on the internet. He's not even a fighter anymore. I've said this before. It's been so long that he's been out of the ring. I just felt that this was just most of the work that he was doing was just outside of the ring, and I think it showed. Fight night, like he wasn't really throwing. He
didn't throw.
He didn't really throw, and it looked like he was kind of gonna try to dog walk him. Walk him down, and try to get Logan tired out, but. No, he just kind of seemed like a punching bag, really, until the very end where he tried to take Logan Paul down unsuccessfly.
Yeah, unsuccessfully. Man.
Yeah, he actually, and then that's the thing. He wanted to swing on that security guard.
He did swing.
He swung.
Yeah, he swung.
And he still missed, and I still think that's crazy though. And then he claimed that he won because Logan Paul's team got into the ring because of that. Yeah.
Is that what he said?
That's what he said. There was a little clip. I don't know who it was. I think it was maybe a fan or something like that got out their iPhone and was recording Dillon. He was like, Dillon, what happened? And Dillon goes, I won the fight. But there was still a whole bunch of security and all the commotion and chaos was still ensuing inside the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know what went on. I don't know what was going on, man. I think I thought, okay, this is what I thought. Until this 6-round fight, to the first 3 rounds, I could understand Dillon not throwing a lot of punches, being a high guard, because leading up to the whole fight, he kept on talking about Logan Paul is going to gas, Logan Paul is going to gas, Logan Paul is going to gas. He kept on saying that. Oh, look, he's too big, all this stuff, and he has good cardio. So what I expected him to do is try to pull off a Mayweather McGregor type of stuff, where he goes a high guard and pressures the hell out of Logan. Logan starts throwing a lot of punches. Trying to knock out Dillon Danis. And then he gets tired. And then that's when Dillon Danis is going to step it up and actually start throwing punches. So for the first 3 rounds, I was like, okay, I was like, okay, I expect this if this is his plan. But he just kept on, taking punches. It's like he did not throw. I was so angry because I was like, Dillon, you were talking about all this stuff, he's gonna gas. Yeah, that's cool and all. But, you're not going to win just because he's tired. You actually have to throw punches. He wasn't throwing. And finally, we got to the 6th round. And I was like, he's not going to knock Logan out with one punch, man. He isn't Deontay Wilder or somebody, He goes in there, he's doing the exact same thing he's doing. High guard and just, walking forward. And then he starts trying to... And this is the other thing that I thought was going to happen. He was... Even if he was losing the fight and is going to lose, he was going to get DQ'd. Which I guess happened. So maybe this actually is a point for me. Because he... his DQ... what I thought was going to happen is maybe if he's losing too bad... He's like F this. I don't need this. I already got all the attention I want. I already got the money. Who cares? And I thought he was going to, just start submitting him or just, do some jiu-jitsu move to get him on the ground and do whatever. And he tried it unsuccessfully. He tried to take down and then he tried to guillotine, and they both failed. Oh, my gosh. And then he got hammer-fisted.
Oh, God. And then he swung and missed
and then he
security.
Swung and missed at a security guard. Yeah, so Dillon went out sad. I think Dillon went out super sad, man. It was a clown performance, completely disgraceful, no game plan. He really just resigned himself to not getting knocked out and getting the check. He didn't care anymore because he could have thrown more punches if he really wanted to, but he just didn't want to, I guess. He just, took the fight for some money, attention, and, eyes on him, and I guess he got it, but, they say bad press. There's no such thing as bad press. I ain't gonna lie, I think this might be some bad press for Dillon Danis. I don't know. They're gonna try to. I don't think the UFC is gonna try to get him because that's what he's been calling out for the UFC. But I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that was the last time that should be the last time we ever see him on Misfits.
Yeah, he's never coming back on Influencer.
Yeah, that was because he just scammed us all, man. What the hell? Dude, I feel this thing. I knew, in my head, I was like, Logan Paul's going to win. But my heart wanted Dillon because, it was going to be so funny, if he won.
It was going to be.
But just the performance, seeing it after the first, second, third, fourth, and then fifth and sixth round, I was like, this is one of the worst things I could possibly be spending my Saturday doing, Watching Dillon Danis just be a punching bag to Logan Paul. And the thing is, Logan Paul didn't even look good either.
No.
He did not look good. He looked like the same Logan Paul that we've always known, wide ass combinations, flurries, the jab, the shot flicking it out. But he just didn't look that good, or he just looked the same, he was claiming that he had been training for 2 years. He just hadn't had an opponent. That was bull.
Yeah, there's no real improvements.
No, it's no real improvement. He still fights the same way. And to me, yeah, that really told me a lot about Logan, too. He's not really about boxing, so this might be one of the last few times we're ever going to probably see him fight, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they both got their check. They both got their attention while doing the same thing, scamming the audience.
Some things never change, man.
Oh, man, bro.
Some things never change.
Great minds think alike,
yeah,
man.
Dude. Yeah.
That's all I want to say about that fight. It was just garbage. Now Dillon Danis' next fight is in court.
Yeah.
So
that's his next one in.
The next fight.
We'll see if he does what he did against Logan. Just let it happen.
He might be 0-2 against the Paul.
Yeah, dude. Oh no.
Yeah. So
just clown world from Dillon.
Man, that's all we're gonna say about. Oh, you want to say?
Yeah. And not only that, but also, let's give I think they do this on the Breakfast Club. Donkey of the Day. I don't know why Conor McGregor said that Dillon Danis was a legend, or he congratulated him on a good performance.
Said he impressed him.
He impressed him.
I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of impressed too.
On what?
His ability to take punches. His ability to just eat those punches and not get angry. You know, that takes a lot of self-control to come out, actually. Imagine you like this guy is just whooping your ass for like 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And you don't throw back. You know, that takes some self-control. His patience was up there.
Yeah, bro. He has no enemies, man.
Yeah, he has no enemies, man. He's a peaceful guy. We got it all wrong, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, peaceful guy because he left the ring with 2 black eyes, really.
Yeah. 2 black eyes, man.
2 black eyes, yeah. So, I mean, and that kind of sucks too because, you know, so I kind of knew Logan was going to win. I just knew knowing Logan was going to bring the exact same thing, kind of boxing, trying to look pretty and get tired because of how big his muscles are and stuff like that. But Dillon is such a wild card that I just knew that he was going to disappoint me. But deep down, like what you said, how you wanted a Dillon Danis to win, but you wanted Logan to win.
I knew, like, in my head,
Logan
was going to win, but I want Dillon Danis to win.
That's kind of how I felt. I wanted low-key Dillon to win because I knew the whole shift of influencer boxing was just going to shift. His next fight was going to be Jake Paul, and that was going to be another card, other great fights that the fans can now see and stuff like that.
Other trash talking.
Another level of trash talking.
Yeah.
Yes, because Jake, as you know, contrary to his brother, he's actually, you know, the bad guy, or that's the card he tries to play.
Yeah, and Jake also got with Dylan's ex.
Did he really?
Yeah, remember?
That's the whole beef.
Yeah, that Logan kept on bringing it up, and that's Jake's magic bullet, though. Yeah, he got with Dillon Danis' ex. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know that actually now that is not going to come to fruition, and then not only that, but we're not going to see Dillon no more, and I really don't want to see Dillon at all, even for free, like not at all. But also Logan, like I don't like the fact that he says that he's gonna go to WWE, and he called out Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, bro, do that on your own time, bro. What are you
boxing right now?
You're boxing right now, bro. Like, don't even.
Man, that shit was a script at the end. You know, yeah. I'm convinced now that the Dillon Danis Logan was just all a script. It was never actually real. The WWE actually contracted Misfits and DAZN. They got in contact with Mams Taylor. They're like, yo, we're about to pull off a scam.
All the scammers got together.
I got the perfect guy, Logan Paul, like the king of them, you know.
Yeah, and he stated I don't think he really wants to even go back. I think Ariel actually told him like, let's stick to boxing. Like, you know what's next for you in boxing. And I think he just kind of shook off the question and just kind of focused on just I'm gonna go back to WWE. I gotta go for the some WWE title and stuff like that. So I was just like, bro, come on, man. We also got scammed by you. They continue to scam us, bro.
Yeah. They never stop.
They don't
It's
stop.
in their veins.
Yeah. So and Dillon has been tweeting on Twitter saying he's still tweeting. I'm like, bro, all the comments are like, bro, like.
Just take the L.
Take the L.
They're not even funny anymore.
They're not even funny anymore. It's like, bro, you lost. Like, just shut up, bro. So, yeah.
Yeah, so from a very highly speculated, electrifying, what was supposed to be fight, turned out to be an absolute, buzzkill. It was terrible. Atrocious. Terrible fight. One of the worst, if not the worst one, if you compare it to the actual main event, KSI versus Tommy Fury. Mm-hmm. Now, this one is probably easily the most controversial fight of the night.
Oh, definitely.
Easily. Once the scorecards were announced, the internet was divided. I think it was mainly people were mainly going towards the direction of KSI won that fight.
Yeah.
Rather than Tommy Fury won that fight, and that was the big thing. People thought KSI got robbed. Mm-hmm. And now my question is, was KSI robbed off a victory against Tommy Fury?
KSI, no. He was not robbed. This was not a robbery. Because if you think the fight was a robbery, the KSI and Tommy Fury fight was a robbery, you don't know boxing. It's like, robbery isn't even the right word. A robbery is like talking about the Logan and the Dillon. If somehow they would have managed to give the fight to Dillon Danis, that's a robbery. That's a real robbery. Like, you're not even using the correct word to like say what you're referring to. So that's the first thing. It wasn't a robbery. Second thing, if you say KSI won the fight, or you believe KSI won the fight. Another thing. Okay, this fight was a ugly, messy clinch war. They were just hugging the whole time. There was rarely any clean punches landed at all in the whole 6 rounds. Okay, so that's the first thing. That's gonna make scoring Very difficult. And the decision was a majority decision for Tommy Fury. That means that Tommy Fury won by the tiniest amount. That means that the one judge thought the fight was dead even, a draw. Okay, so the people acting like KSI clearly won this is mind-boggling to me. But I would say the same thing if people thought that Tommy Fury clearly won this. This fight was a very close fight. A lot of hugging. Very hard to score. Could have really gone either way. Could have been a draw as well. The thing is, why I do edge it out to Tommy Fury. I do believe Tommy Fury won this fight, is because yes, it was close. Yes, a lot of clinches. Yes, no fighter really did much to cement their victory. Tommy Fury was the one that was going forward. Tommy Fury was the one that was the aggressor. And in a lot of these fights, you're going to have to resort to like giving points towards that. Like if there's not that much action going on, you're going to see, okay, who's pushing the pace? Okay, who's
dictating the rhythm of the fight, really?
Yeah, dictating the fight, ring generalship, all this other stuff comes into play when there's no real punches being landed. And Tommy Fury was the one that was going forward, pushing the pace, trying to land some punches. So, yeah, I do edge it out to Tommy Fury. I believe Tommy Fury won a 4-2 victory, 4 rounds to 2. I think because of the point deduction, it was only a very split decision to Tommy Fury. Just barely won by 1 point. But in no way, shape, or form was this a dominant performance. No way, shape, or form was this a robbery. None of that. It was just a very close, ugly fight that we had to witness.
You know what's funny is that the way that fight played out, I really thought that's how the Logan Paul versus Dillon Danis fight was going to play out. I really thought Dillon wasn't going to be able to hurt Logan or catch Logan. I thought he was going to resort to doing some jiu-jitsu or some like clinching, stuff like that. Maybe hold his arm or his head, push his head down, which he kind of did sometimes. But yeah, man, very close fight. You can't call it a robbery when, you know, like what you said before, when one fighter is clearly beating the other guy and then they give it to the other guy. It's like, bro, that's a robbery. That's a robbery. But when the two guys are going back and forth and it's really hard to decide who really won that round, it's like maybe that other guy won it because he landed a more cleaner shot, or the other guy was landing a little bit more, but there were just little pitty-patty punches and stuff like that. Like, it's really hard to really judge who won, so that makes it a very close, competitive fight. You know what I'm saying? It's not a robbery.
Not
a robbery. But if I kind of had a similar scorecard as what you had, 4-2, you know, and if it wasn't for that point deduction, I think it could have. And that's another thing where I really do think Tommy Fury won, but I really want to put a spotlight on the scorecards, the picture. What are you guys' thoughts on that? It's kind of weird.
Oh, but the scorecards?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of more controversy coming out of that. You know, not only was the decision controversial, but the scorecards, the image that was shown was even more controversial because one of the judges has the second round is the round that people are, you know, really looking at, because that's the round that Tommy Fury got the point taken away for the hit behind the head. And the second judge actually scored that round, I think it was a 9-9 or a 10-9, something like that, yeah, in favor of Tommy Fury. Mm-hmm. So people are speculating that, hey, like, either these judges can't add up, they can't do math, or there's some type of, you know, conspiracy theory, you know, like they're trying to get Tommy Fury to win the fight.
So then, what would it be, a draw?
It'd be 9-9.
I think it would have been a draw. Yeah.
So then it would have just been a draw.
The other judges had different one. I don't remember. I need to see the image again. I need to see the image again. But regardless of that, I would have been fine with a draw, honestly. If they would have announced a draw, I think it would have been fair. I mean, there was clearly no clear big winner, you know. Mm-hmm. Like, it was such a hard fight to even score. Hard to watch. First off, it was a hard fight to even watch. Yeah, so bad. But it was even harder to score. So, you know, I was, you know, when they were going to announce the the decision. I first thought they were gonna give it to KSI because I was like, it's his promotion, it's everything, It's there's no way they're gonna give it to Tommy Fury. And in our reaction video on TikTok, you can clearly hear us saying, "Oh, it's KSI, KSI," right before they announced it. So it came to a great shock to me that they gave it to Tommy Fury because I was just not expecting them to give it to him. So I was completely fine with a draw for this fight. A rematch perhaps. For me personally, no. I do not want to see this fight again. I don't think it even makes any sense. Because at this point, I know KSI already kind of has one foot in the door. He just wants to leave already. So I know him having a rematch with Tommy Fury would, not really benefit him in that course of action that he wants to do or the path in his career that he wants to take. So next fight should obviously be a Jake Paul and KSI fight. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think it really makes no sense. They run it back, They both, KSI and Jake Paul, have both now lost to the same person, Tommy Fury. So I think, first of all, Tommy Fury is the influencer slayer.
Bro, he ended
Going
YouTube
down in
boxing, bro.
history.
He ended YouTube boxing now, bro.
They should give him a belt, bro, or something. But so they both, KSI and Jake, have both lost to the same guy. I think this sets it up perfectly for a KSI versus Jake Paul mega fight, which is what the fans really want to see. I think if you were to ask the fans, would you rather see a Tommy KSI rematch or a Jake Paul KSI? I think they'd say Jake Paul KSI.
Yeah, and I don't even think they want to see Jake Paul and Tommy Fury again either. They really want to see the two biggest YouTuber boxers, influencer boxers in this case. So, but yeah, most def. I don't see who else they could fight and people would be somewhat interested in seeing. Yeah, I mean, they lost to the same guy. Now it's up to them to see who's, I guess, second place, I guess.
Yeah, to finally settle the beef, which has been going on for way too long. For them to finally step into the ring, see who is actually better, KSI or Jake Paul.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Based on this past, performance this past weekend, who did a better job against Tommy Fury, KSI or Jake Paul?
Well, I feel like this question is it's a little misleading because, okay, I'll say, just to answer the actual question, I think KSI did better. It was a closer fight. I think that the Tommy Fury and Jake Paul was a clear victory to Tommy. Like, there was really no debate. It was clearly Tommy Fury won that fight easily. But for this one, it was closer. Tommy Fury and KSI. However, I think that Tommy Fury put up a better performance against Jake Paul than KSI. So, although, yeah, the fight is closer, we didn't see the best Tommy Fury. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a bit. Some people might use this to say KSI's better just because he performed better, which is not entirely true. First thing, because of what I just said, but also because, secondly, styles make fights. At the end of the day, you can't really compare. Just because one person beat somebody else doesn't mean that some other guy can beat that guy. It's like, no, styles make fights. Sometimes fighters have off nights. Other times, fighters have their best night of their life. It's hard to judge and compare them like that until they finally step into the ring.
I'm gonna say none of them. They both lost. They both lost.
That is true.
But I mean, if you want to get into specifics and really look into it, I would say KSI, just because it was really close and competitive. Really close and competitive. But Jake does have a little bit of an upper hand because he dropped Tommy, although it was just a jab. Tommy wasn't really hurt at all, and then Tommy got up and
Started whooping him.
Yeah, the fight got easier actually for him. But if I had to choose someone, I would probably say KSI. Yeah.
Yeah, that question's kind of, because I seen people throwing it out. Now after this past week, and they're like, "Oh, KSI is better than Jake Paul because he got a majority decision. He made Tommy work for it. Blah blah yada yada."
It's
right?
not how it works, buddy.
It doesn't work like that. If it did, then that would be stupid, if it did. But, also, I feel like we didn't see the best KSI either. I don't think he was able to showcase anything of what he's been, doing throughout this entire training camp, because he just kept on, smuggling his punches. You know, all the clinches, all the hugging, really did not did not help any of these two fighters, Tommy Fury or KSI, showcase any of their abilities, any of their skill sets. It was just not apparent at all throughout this fight, which is what made it so unbearable to watch.
Yeah.
It was so bad, man. Cause I was so hyped for this fight because Tommy Fury came out, did his thing, did his ring walk, but then KSI pulled up in the Lambo.
The Lamborghini.
And then Lamborghini
with
song.
the song Lamborghini.
Bro, man, it was pretty cold. I can't lie, pretty cool ring entrance. Only for him to give off a very terrible performance like that. But yeah, so seeing this fight, seeing how it went, I would have to say that this Prime card was the build up to this card was great. It was amazing. Not only the build up, but the promo that they did. They did so much to really build the hype up for this card, only for it to really kind of not deliver for the two main events. Because the undercards were pretty decent. Maybe the Anthony Taylor and the Nunes one weren't the best, but we had the Salt Papi, the Deen. Even the tag team was a lot more entertaining to watch than what we got for the two main events, which was just absolutely a snore fest, Seemingly, for me, a waste of time and money.
Yeah, it was anticlimactic, like I said before. I think, we had Dean, and then we had Salt Papi. Boom, the emotions were high. We're like, yes, we're going to get some fireworks now. The main events are starting. Super hyped for these fights. And then it just, a heavy, steep crash down to the boredom, So, yeah, definitely didn't live up to the expectations, specifically the main events.
Yeah, I would say disappointed with the main events. Probably my two favorite fights was probably Slim and Salt Papi and Dean against Walid Sharks. That actually carried the Prime card. Other than that, I was a little bit disappointed. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit more, but it is what it is. I guess we just have to wait and see how the next one turns out.
Yeah, with Jarvis already being announced to be on it.
Jarvis, that's crazy.
He's one of the
Headliners, yeah.
Is he the headliner or one
One of them, yeah.
One of them.
They have him on the poster right there. Bam, Jarvis.
Headline.
Headline.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, we just have to see how that one plays out. I'm not sure who they would. I'm not even sure who they would put on that card. But.
Yeah, but I understand that we just said right now the Prime card didn't really deliver a little anticlimactic at the end of the day, but I do believe that having an event like the Prime card be like a yearly thing would be super beneficial. It'd help Misfits grow, and then it'd really help just everything just grow in general, because if they keep having these big events like the Prime card every single year, you're gonna have something to look forward to. You know how football has the Super Bowl, soccer or football has the Champions League or the World Cup. Influencer boxing has the Prime card. It's that one event that you can look forward to. And it's the one that is gonna be packed with fighters who want to fight and who want to be on that card. It's gonna be the biggest event of the year. So I think Misfits should really strive to keep on building, making these Prime cards become a yearly thing, so we can know for sure, have one event that we know is going to be full of fireworks, and bangers.
Well, what even is the Prime card? It wasn't it built around like KSI and Logan because they have Prime. So
but Prime's a sponsor for Misfits. Yeah.
But they always are.
They always are, yeah.
Yeah.
So they can just have like the Prime card.
I guess just call it a
Prime card 2, Prime card 3.
Yeah, just call it a Prime card.
Yeah,
I
call it the
suppose.
Prime card.
Yeah.
But having some type of like big event, where all these big names in the influencer scene get to fight each other, and just like what happened here, the build up, the promo, everything they had everyone excited for it. I'm pretty sure the pay-per-view numbers are gonna be incredible.
Yeah.
I'm predicting over 1 million.
I don't think so.
I'm predicting over 1 million.
I don't think so.
I'm predicting it. Yeah.
I'm predicting definitely north of 500,000. I'm gonna assume like minimum like 800K for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be big. And going back to your point, I think that's a really great idea, to be honest. And I think there should also be some type of criteria for, all the fighters are going to be like, yeah, I want to be on the Prime card number 2, because, all the attention and eyeballs. But I think having a criteria almost makes it even more, like the fans are like, oh, crap, like I know if I tune in and I pay Like, I'm gonna get fireworks. It's gonna be worth my money. That's a really good idea. I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah, just a little idea. Mams Taylor, if you decide to, please give me the patent or just
Give him some credit.
Yeah, give me the clout, give me a shout out, quick shout out, But yeah, so that was the prime card, Did it deliver? Not really, but it was fun while it lasted, It was really fun. And now we're out of a job, guys.
Yeah.
We're out of job, guys. God damn it, Ron.
Unemployed
We're
once
unemployed,
again.
bro. God, this is awful. Do you guys have any final remarks?
Nope.
Yes, I do. I think KSI is kind of a crybaby.
Yeah, I think he actually threw a temper tantrum.
He deadass threw a temper tantrum,
like a
bro.
children, like a child, an infant.
How old is he? 29, 30?
He's 33 or
He's 30.
30. Okay,
30?
He kicked like the monitor. Like I understand you're
Oh my
angry, man.
God.
I trust me. I definitely understand. I understand you're angry. But like you gotta control your emotions. Like you're a 30-year-old grown adult.
Bro, he reminded me of a kid who probably just got in trouble or he's in timeout. He wants to do something and he gets told no, and all these emotions start coming out, and he really tries to ball it down, and then it just kind of explodes. He's just crying and mad. That's kind of how KSI reminded me of.
He literally couldn't talk.
He couldn't talk.
Like, yeah, I think he was so angry that he was about to start crying. You know what I'm saying? When you get that feeling and like you're like you can't really talk or else you're gonna sound like you're crying. So that's why he kind of just stopped talking.
And then he went over and kicked the fucking monitor.
Kicked the monitor for no reason. Even Chris Eubank was like, "Yo, relax, man. Relax." He like patted him on the shoulder.
Yeah, and then I think he was even saying, I saw a couple of clips of him walking backstage to, I'm guessing, his locker room, saying, in context for the Furies, they shouldn't be proud of that performance and stuff like that. I won that fight and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And who knows what else. But, yeah. And then I guess the other, Dillon Danis trying the guillotine, failing, and then swinging on the security guard, which also failed. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, so
I think we got it. That was good. Good good podcast. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Was this your favorite Misfits card? Let us know which one was your favorite. Thoughts, opinions, stuff like that. Till then, it's been your boy Rudo.
Pablo.
Also, L.
And this has been the Last Round Boxing Podcast. Peace.